The cost of greed. My name is Thomas, and what I'm about to tell you isn't just a story, it's a warning. This happened a few years ago, right in the heart of our small community, where life was supposed to be simple, where the worst you'd expect was a spat over a property line. I used to work at a local bank, not as a teller, but in the back office, handling accounts and paperwork. It was there I met Kevin, a coworker who seemed like a good guy at first, always ready to help, always with a smile. But over time, I noticed something off about him. He'd often linger near the vault or the safe deposit boxes longer than necessary. One day, after a particularly quiet shift, I caught Kevin pocketing cash from a transaction he was supposed to deposit. I confronted him, and he laughed, saying it was just to cover some debts, promising to return it. I should have reported him right then, but I believed him, or maybe I just didn't want to believe a friend could be that low. Months passed, and Kevin's borrowing turned into theft. I couldn't ignore it anymore, not when I started noticing discrepancies in the accounts I managed. I knew he was stealing from our clients, from our community. I gathered enough evidence to confront him one last time, but this time, I was ready to go to the police. Kevin, however, had other plans. He knew I knew. That evening, as I walked home from work, he ambushed me in an alley near my house. He had a knife, and with a look of desperation, he threatened me to keep quiet or else. I was terrified, but I managed to escape, though not before he cut me on my arm as a warning. The next day, I went straight to the police. Kevin was arrested, but during the investigation, they found out he had been stealing for years, not just from the bank, but from individuals' safe deposit boxes. The amount was staggering, and many lives were ruined because of him. But that wasn't the end. Kevin got bailed out by some mysterious benefactor, and he vanished. I thought that was it. He'd run away, and I'd never see him again. How wrong I was. 2 months later, I started receiving anonymous notes. They were cryptic, always ending with, "The price of betrayal is high." They were left in my car, taped to my door, even slipped into my mail. It was clear Kevin was back and he wanted revenge. I changed my locks, installed security cameras, but the notes kept coming. Then one night, I found my dog dead in the backyard. The vet confirmed it was poison. It was a message, and I knew it was from Kevin. I was scared, but I was also angry. I decided to fight back. I contacted a private investigator with all the evidence I had, including the notes and the vet's report. We traced Kevin's movements, finding he was living in a rundown cabin just outside town. I went there one evening, armed only with my phone to record any confession or evidence. When I arrived, the place was dark, but the door was slightly ajar. I stepped inside, heart pounding in my chest, and there he was, sitting in the dark, a bottle of whiskey in his hand. Surrounded by stacks of cash and jewels he must have stolen, he looked up, his eyes hollow. "So you found me. What now, Thomas? You going to turn me in again?" I recorded everything. His confession, his threats, his admission to killing my dog. But then, he pulled out a gun, aiming it right at me. I thought that was it, but instead of shooting, he started to laugh, a manic, broken sound. "Go on, send me back. But remember, I'll always find a way out, and I'll always come for you." I left that cabin with enough evidence to ensure Kevin would never see the outside of a cell again. But the fear didn't go away. Every creak, every shadow, felt like Kevin watching, waiting. Months turned into years, and Kevin was convicted, sentenced to life. But the psychological torment he inflicted didn't end with his incarceration. I moved, changed my name, but the fear of what he might have set in motion, the unknown accomplices, the notes that occasionally still arrived, kept me looking over my shoulder. So this story isn't just about revenge. It's about the cost of greed and betrayal. It's a reminder that some actions can haunt you, not just in the form of legal repercussions, but in the silent, pervasive fear that never truly leaves you alone. This story should resonate with listeners looking for a mix of real-life horror, betrayal, and the long shadow of revenge. Remember, this is a fictional account designed for entertainment,